Green Kiwi, Nirvana, a short story. There is a certain type of New Zealander that Australians refer to as sheep shaggers. It's an unkind estimation, but there you have it. This fellow, this Kiwi, was of the sheep shagging variety, which is to say green, gormless and annoying. He had just come back over the border from Thailand. We were sitting in a cafe in Old Town, Hibiscus Road, dense in the tropical rain, and he started up with his typical New Zealand whining. His complaint was that Buddhism wasn't Buddhist enough. "I studied the whole thing, Brew," he said. "I read every book." He meant every book. For some reason, New Zealanders, especially the sheep shagging variety, are allergic to vowels. They just eliminate them. Why say fish when you can say fush? What happened? I wondered foolishly. There was a steady stream of New Zealanders adrift in Southeast Asia that came through the cafe on Hibiscus Road, so I should have known better. The monks of Thailand, he said, were not in any respect radiant and illuminated with the Buddha nature. "No?" I said, surprised. "Corrupt," he complained. It is always rich when Kiwis complain about corruption, but I let him go on. You can see what I mean about green though. There he was in Auckland reading books on Buddhism, and then he goes to Bangkok to get enlightened. He figured, sitting there in Auckland, that Buddhist Bangkok must be just teeming with enlightened beings. "I'll tell you, Brew, it was not what I was expecting," he recounted. I would say he was actually in a state of mild shock, but that was entirely of his own doing. He related how some grinning monks on a motorcycle saw him wandering around looking for spiritual guidance in downtown Bangkok one day, and persuaded him that he could fund his entire enlightenment with some sacred rubies that he could resell back in Auckland at a tidy profit. "So they took me to this temple, Brew, and showed me these sacred rubies, and they looked like real sacred rubies to me." "Go on," I said. "But you know what, Brew? They weren't. It's a scam. I read about it on the internet. These monks, they don't know anything about the Four Noble Truths." Despite what he had just told me, I was worried he was going to whip out some rubies and try to sell me some. "And you know what, Brew? They eat meat." He was a strict vegetarian, of course. Sheep shaggers and lamb lovers adapt naturally to the vegetarian lifestyle. "And smoke cigarettes, Brew. And drink. And some of them have girlfriends." "Ah, yes. The four deadly toxins: meat, tobacco, alcohol and women." He was well rehearsed in the number of things: the Four Noble Truths, the 8 spindles of karma, the 36 inflections of dependent origination, the 208 really nasty hell realms, the 119 bodhisattvas of ongoing mercy, and he was well rehearsed in the deadly toxins. And gambling, Brew. A group of monks in one temple had laid bets on what shade of red the Thailand sun had turned his neck. "And one of the monks was a she," he said, in sheep-shagging disbelief. "A she? You've got no idea, Brew." I could have insisted that I did have some idea of what a she is, but I could see he was shaken. In just a few short weeks in Thailand, Nirvana had slipped away. "You didn't buy any of those rubies, did you?" I asked. Again, I was still worried he was going to pull some out and try me on. "I was on my way to the ATM, Brew. That's how close it was. These monks were really genuine. They had the saffron robes and the sandals. I thought they were genuine. But you know what, Brew? They don't even meditate." "When you go to Thailand," he said, "you expect the whole country is in deep meditation, don't you? 40 million Buddhists, what a sangha." But no. It seems the Buddhists of Buddha land don't spend their days in meditation after all. Not anymore. What do they do instead? Just ordinary things. eat and sleep and fart, and all 4 of the deadly toxins. He ventured outwards into the small villages, and when he told people he was a vegetarian, they didn't know what he meant. "You've got no idea, Brew," by which stage he was starting to get annoying. It was as if all the Buddhists in Buddha land hadn't read any of the books he had read. It was shattering. There are few things as annoying as a sheep shagger in a spiritual crisis. Where to now, I wondered. Back to Auckland, he said, defeated. He figured he had as good a chance of getting enlightened in Auckland as anywhere else. I agreed. 0.